Want to create beautiful art journal or mixed media pieces? Well, you can. Anyone can do this, and in this tutorial, I'm going to walk you through it step by step and show you how easy it can be. So I'm working in half composition books. This is the one. It measures about 5 inches by 7 inches, but when you open it up in the way I'm going to do it, it's 15 inches across by almost 5 inches. It's an odd shape, but I love it. I'm going to link the tutorial where I prep this composition book. You can check that out if you want to. So here's a sneak peek of the beautiful page that I created. This does not use a lot of supplies or is particularly difficult. So the first thing, I am going to break the page. Now the surface here, the page has been gessoed, and I am brayering on black acrylic paint on a stamp. I don't know how much of this is going to show. Some, a little bit. This is just the first layer. You've got to break that page, messy it up, and just get started. So again, I am brayering black acrylic paint on and putting this throughout the art journal page. Now, if you don't have a half composition book, this can be done on a 7x10. And I'm going to show you that because I ran into technical difficulties. So I kind of had to re-video some of the parts here. Now, I decided that I'm going with, I wanted a burgundy color. So I am using alizarin crimson and I'm adding a little bit of black. And when I mix it up, I'm getting this rich, muted burgundy color. Now, the stamp that I use is kind of Old English, so I'm going a little bit vintage so the muted color works well. So whatever color paint you have, you can adjust it by just adding a smidge of black. If pink's not your thing or burgundy's not your thing, you can do this with blue or green. Experiment and see what colors come up. You might just love it. So I lost some footage here, so I've applied the paint, but I did another page here showing these steps because I really love this page and how this turned out. So I wanted you to get the information. So once I'm happy with the paint and I've tested out, I am simply applying it onto the gessoed surface that has been stamped with a makeup sponge. Now you'll note some of this is going on fairly light. I will build up the color. I want to have some variation here, some lighter areas, some darker areas. Don't worry if it's not perfectly smooth. That's kind of boring. We want different textural patterns. We want lights and darks. So this page, I end up creating a whole other page following the same steps. This is a 7x10, and it's kind of a nice, gives you an idea that the same steps can be applied no matter what art journal book you have. So here I'm just building up color. Some areas are darker, some areas are lighter. I don't really have a plan for a focal image on this one. I don't know, right? So don't pressure yourself by thinking you got to have everything figured out before you start. That's paralysis by overanalysis, and it's not a happy place to be in. Sometimes you just have to start, break the page, throw the color on it, and figure it out as you go along. So here I'm using unbleached titanium. Now this is a fluid, Liquitex Basics fluid acrylic. You can use the student body, medium body paint as well. This was just handy and I want to use this up. I don't particularly like the fluid acrylics from Liquitex beyond the black, but I purchased them thinking they were a good idea, so I want to use them up. I don't want to waste anything. But any unbleached titanium. So I'm putting that on, and it's, right now it's kind of in that ugly stage. That's okay. You're not done. There's many more layers coming, and if you don't like it, you can tweak it. So here I'm adding a little bit more of that burgundy back in. Now, the unbleached titanium was a little too dark. So I'm just going in with some white paint or white gesso. I'm not even sure which one I grabbed, and just lightening up those areas, making them look soft, cloud-like, ethereal. And again, I'm adding some variations. Some of that unbleached titanium is still showing. Some is now been lightened, and I'm liking the look of that. So you do a little bit of a play. You put a little more burgundy on, you put a little more white on, you overlap, you know, just back and forth till you're happy with that layer. But don't get too attached because you are going to add more layers as we go. And that's what is the magic of mixed media art journaling. So here I'm just adding a little bit more white, brightening up those areas. And I'm a lot happier with that. As much as I wanted to go vintage and muted, the unbleached titanium straight on just wasn't doing it for me. So here is the original, the 15 by about 5. I have a lot softer there. It's not exactly identical. Anytime you do it, even if you're following the same steps, it's not going to be 100% the same way. Here I'm just adding a little more burgundy, softening those edges. But I really, this composition, the 15 inches across with the about 5 inches up and down, I thought it would be an odd shape and difficult, but I'm really loving it. And again, this was a half-sized composition book that I purchased on Amazon. Took it as a challenge, some different size, a different shape, just challenged me to think differently. So now we are going to apply ink with a Pitt Big Brush marker. Here it is from Faber-Castell. And I'm going to put this on this um, stamp. This is a large stamp from Carabelle. I've had it. I don't use it, but oh my God, I love it. I need to use it. And doing it this way really works. So this is adding that grunge. It's still very reading, very vintage, kind of old English. I'm targeting those areas that are white, but not limiting it to it. So I've done this on the 15 by 5 inch one, the original one. But again, I lost that video footage, technical difficulties. So here it is on that one. So now I'm playing with some focal images. I have these angels that were from a card. One just, it seems a little too tall if I put them. So I'm just additioning the focal image at this stage. I kind of want to, before I go on, maybe add some more layers, I want to see where I'm going. I have this butterfly. It's kind of in the center. It has that pinkish color, but I'm thinking maybe this butterfly is a little too large for this. And then while it would work, I think it would look great. I'm thinking I can use a butterfly anytime. Then I had this angel napkin that I got from NINNYSNAPKINS.com. There's a link in the description box. They have tons of Christmas napkins, all different season napkin. Check it out. All my napkins come from there. Here is the original napkin. I've just rough cut it, peeled off the excess layers because you always want to remove those excess plies, and there are typically 2 excess plies. Peeled it off, and then I glued it down onto a piece of copy paper with fluid matte medium. And once that was completely dry, I am simply cutting it out. I'm cutting out that center area. I find it's easier to do when everything else it's kind of stabilized. And then I'm just working my way around cutting it out. Now, the reason I glued it onto the copy paper is if I glued it onto the background with that pink, it would show through the white of the dress, and I didn't want that. So now I am ready to add some bling and some spectacular detailing. I grabbed a stencil from the Crafter's Workshop, rose stencil butter and driftwood stencil butter. It's a pink and kind of an off-white color. They're both pearlized. That's what the stencil butters are. They're kind of between gesso and modeling paste, but you can put them through a stencil like modeling paste, but you can use them for lots of other things. And I'll link the video where I talk about all the uses or some other uses for the stencil butter. It's a wonderful, wonderful product. So I put it on my key card. I put two colors. I put rose and driftwood, and then I'm pressing it. Kind of mixes it up so you get this blend. And I love mixing two colors and getting that blend. Something, again, that's where the magic happens. It's so much better than just one color. You have that unexpected mix. So I'm going to put this in 3 areas. And if I overlap where the stencil is, which isn't the case on this one, I take time to give it a little bit of a dry time because I don't want to mess up the modeling paste, the stencil butter. So here I'm adding that there and, 3, but you're getting that shine. It's layered, it's pushed back some of those previous layers. It's feeding into that vintage thing. I've picked stencils and stamps that work together. There's some connection between them. If you don't want to go vintage, don't go vintage. If that's not what you have, but if it's all circles or star patterns, you want that. So now that I have this, I need to glue these angels down. And I'm going to use matte medium here because I've got copy paper and the napkin is a little thicker. So when my focal image is on thicker paper or multiple layers, I tend to use the matte medium, the gel medium, not the fluid medium. But you can use fluid medium. I'm gluing it underneath and then sealing it with a coat of the matte medium on top. And the great thing about this matte medium, it goes perfectly clear and there is no shine, so you don't get that halo effect around whatever you've glued down. So I'm putting that down and going to let that dry. Are you loving this page as much as me? I am so happy. Now here I'm taking that pit marker. I've got a burgundy one and a smaller scale Old English stamp, and I'm just adding some of that stamping there using that burgundy color. Just adding that little bit of detail. That first stamp that I did with black, you can see a little bit here and there, but not much, but I liked it, so I'm adding it back in. But I didn't want to go with black. This is from my Winged Wonders sentiment pack, and I have a couple options here. Again, I'm auditioning it. What looks better? Some are too many words, some are not bold enough, they're not standing out enough. So I'm just auditioning where it fits based on what I have there. You kind of have to work with what you have. You make it work. This is what I mean. I didn't have this all picked out before I started, but you figure it out as you go. So the thing with the digital sentiments is you get to print them off as many times as you want, and you can change the sizes. Then you can also cut it apart and arrange the composition of it. So I'm putting this instead of in a rectangle, I've cut it into 3 rectangles and putting it in that space that fits my page. You make it work. And it says, we're all winging it. That's what angels do. And I thought that went. So while this was a Christmas napkin, it's not really reading Christmassy. I could have cut off the kind of evergreen halos that these angels have. Now here I'm just brightening up a little bit of the white dress of the angels just by putting a coat of, again, I'm not sure if it's white paint or white gesso. I use them interchangeably. I just want to brighten it up, make the angels sparkle a little bit more on this background. But I'm not going to do a whole lot of overpainting or shading on these angels. I've decided to keep it super simple here with that, but I did want to brighten it up a smidge. But again, Depending on the page, depending on your mood, you can do as little or as much as you want. Sometimes I leave the napkin as is. Sometimes I add a little bit of overpainting. Sometimes I overpaint the entire thing. And if you watch other videos where I use napkins, you'll see that. Now I'm shading all or edging the page with black acrylic paint going all the way around. And this just frames the page. It just finishes it off. And I just go all the way, all four sides. And then I grab my Secura glaze pen, the black, and I'm outlining the sentiment here. It just, again, it's a finishing technique that does make the difference. So if your page is like, you know, missing something, shading or edging the page like I did, outlining the quote, sometimes that's all you need. And there is this finished page. I absolutely adore how this turned out. Look at that bling, that shine. Everything came together. And there is the finished page that I did because I lost footage and I wanted to show you the steps. So I used the same steps here, same colors, same everything, just different focal point, different size. So you can see how you can do things differently. There are some close-ups of the pictures of the two pages. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you believe that you can create beautiful art journal mixed media pieces. Just follow the steps, one step at a time. Until next time, go get creative.